Hello, welcome to Yin Yoga. Today we're going to continue on our 8-limbed yoga path for probably the next couple weeks, going over asana, which is number 3, and pranayama, the breath work, which is number 4. So we're going to combine those together. And we're going to do a different breath work here in the beginning. We'll do a different one in Shavasana. The one we're going to do in the beginning, I want you to try to incorporate as much as you can throughout this practice. So prop wise, I'm sitting on a folded blanket, maybe a block or two here, maybe another blanket and a bolster. We're going to do some inverting type things today. So you might want that support. So that being said, we'll get started. So coming to a nice comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you. Good. Grow taller from crown to tail. Take a slight tuck in the chin. And we'll come into the practice. So see if you can root a little bit deeper into the sits bones, into your floor. And knowing or noticing if there's somewhere that you could soften in the body a little bit more. And we're going to come into the pranayama. So this breath work is very good for parasympathetic nervous system, which is the nervous system that calms us down, versus the sympathetic, which is the fight or flight response that many of us tend to live in these days. So what I want you to think about is we're all on all of these. We're going to inhale for 4. We're going to gradually lengthen the exhale. So the first one will exhale for 4, then exhale for 5, exhale for 6, exhale for 7, exhale for 8. If that becomes too much for you at any time, return to your normal breath and join us when you can. So from here, let's just take a big exhale to prepare. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Exhale 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Return to a normal breath here. Fingers to the side. Inhale, taking it up. Touching palms together. Exhale, hands to heart center. Knowing how you feel. So your intention today can be anything that you want. There's not necessarily special things in intention for asana or pranayama, but maybe here's a thought: meet yourself where you are today. So could you meet yourself where you are today in breath and in poses? And once you have that set, we'll come back up. Big inhale, exhale. Let's take a gentle side bend towards the left. Reach, reach, reach. And then from here, maybe lengthening a little bit. You can come back and come into that deeper. You can open to the back, opening up the shoulder and that chest, or find a C curve roll here, forehead in the direction of the knee, but not touching. Find what works for your body in this moment on this side, which is meeting yourself where you are. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale, move through center. Take that right over to the right side. Breathe and expand. Good. Lengthening a little bit if you need to. You can come back in, coming deeper. You can open up that chest, or you can find that C curve roll. Now for me on this side, I woke up with a little bit of a cranky shoulder, so I'm just going to stretch that out, be right here. So be where you need to be, and it's not necessarily where you were on the other side. And when you're ready, good, find length and coming back up. Big inhale and reach, exhale, gentle rotation towards the left, rolling or taking the hands down, rolling shoulders back, looking a little bit more behind you. Breathe and expand. And we'll lift, return to center, inhale, exhale, rotate, taking your twist to the right, rolling shoulders behind, maybe looking behind you. Breathe and expand. Good. And lift and come back to center. We're going to go right into a child's pose here. So I'm going to give you a couple options today. So you can do this with or without your blocks. So knees can be together as wide as the mat, somewhere in between. You can take your arms long in front of you. You can take your hands back by the ankles, letting shoulders release. Those of you that want just a little bit of a fluid flush, a little bit more of an opening under here, you could take your blocks or even a sturdy bolster cushion or a couple folded blankets actually, and just let your arms kind of rest here and your chest is going to sink down. So find where you need to be. We're going to do this one for 2 minutes. Remember, meet yourself where you are. Good. And once you found where you're going to be, good, we'll come into that parasympathetic flowing breath. So inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And breathe like that on your own, going down from 8, 9, or 10 on your exhales, or the magic number that you can do right now. Good. From here, carefully finish the breath that you're on and carefully come up out of there. Good. Now, while we're here, I'm just going to move my blocks out of the way. Good. I'm just going to take some little cat cows here. Nice and gentle. Good. And then when you're ready, good, we're going to take this into a supported bridge. And so again, you've got options. You can put a cushion, a pillow, a bolster under the low part of your back. If you've got a blanket or a towel, and it's kind of folded this way, remember you can fold that again. That will give you a softer lift if you want that. You can also do this on a block at ranch house or townhouse setting. You can also do this on 2 blocks. stacking this way, or maybe stacking here. Okay, so you just want to make sure that the sits bones and the tailbone are both supported. And I'm going to keep mine to one block here. Good. Make sure nothing's under the head or the neck. Good. Make sure that if you're using especially a harder prop, you're not into the lumbar. So you want to be down here on the sacrum. And we'll be here for a couple minutes. Good. So again, come back into that breath. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep going just like that, trying to make the exhales longer than the inhales. Meet yourself and your breath where you are. Good. From here, finish that breath that you're on. And when you're ready, good. Lift the hips, remove any props that may have been under there. And take your knees into your chest for a moment. And just rock, rock, rock side to side. And if it would feel good here to take your hands to your knees and make some little circles, make some little circles. And if you took circles, let's reverse that circle. And when you're ready, good. In the way that's best for you, carefully roll over onto your side and then carefully press yourself back up. Good. We're going to come into caterpillar here. So this is a longer flexion forward fold to prepare for snail. So I'm going to bring a blanket back in here to sit on. So if you're tighter in the hips, tighter in the hamstrings, I recommend sitting up on a blanket or something as well. And different things for different people. Some of you are fine taking legs long in front. Some of you are fine taking the legs a little wider. Some of you that want support, maybe taking a bolster or cushion right here and kind of folding over that way. You can also have it kind of between the legs if you need that. Be where you need to be. Now I'm going to do this a little bit more supported today, but if you don't need it, then you don't have to. And we're going to do this one for 3 minutes. Good. So from here, big inhale, reach and lengthen. We're nice and tall. Exhale, hinge forward a little bit with a long spine so you can come no more. And then round. Good. And begin to try to breathe into the back body, expanding the rib cage. And then we'll come back to parasympathetic pranayama flow. So inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep going with that pattern to your magic number as long as you can. You can release any props if you no longer need them. You can always incorporate that Ujjayi Pranayama, that back of the throat constriction here, on those inhales as well. Let's remember to meet yourself where you are. You can control the breath, you can control the mind. Okay. So from here, carefully come out of your caterpillar. Okay. We're going to take a gentle rotation in one direction, doesn't matter where you start. And a gentle rotation in the other direction. And coming back to center. So we're going to come into a supported fish here. And I'm going to go over a few options, different things for different people, different backs. So some people, like myself, really like coming back over this bolster or a large cushion. And if that's you, just bring it all the way up against your rear end here and then just roll back over that. And you can support the head if you need to, or just let it open. Good. Some people prefer something a little bit less than that. So that might be, folded blanket such as this. It might be a block such as this, right along the bra line here, the low rib cage, if you're a guy. Good. Holding that in place with one hand, carefully guiding yourself down with the other. Now, regardless of what prop you use or don't use, you can take legs long. If your back doesn't like that, always put a bend in the knees. You can always support the head back here. It does not have to come to the floor. Okay. Now, for some people, that's still too much extension. And for you, you can take a blanket or a bath towel. Now, how thick you want to make it, it's going to depend on you. So I'm going to kind of take mine like this. Good. And then you can roll this up a little bit here. Good. And how thick you want it, or however much you want that, just stop when it's at your desired thickness. And it might be a little trial and error as well. So now you've got this nice little roll here. And you can place that at the base of the spine and come back here. And now you're still in extension, but you're not as deep in an extension. You can still bend the knees here. And some people's necks like this one a little bit better as well. So different options for different people. Choose one that works best for your body today, not where you think you were yesterday. Choose the one that works best for your body today. For me today, it's going to be this bolster. And I'm actually going to use this roll that I just made as an example as a little neck pillow back here. Good. And we're going to be here for about 3 minutes as well. So also be mindful of that. If 3 minutes is not where you are, you stay where you can stay and then come out. So again, just like the intention, meeting yourself where you are. Good. And then coming back to your breath. Inhaling for 4, gradually increasing the exhale as you're able, making exhales longer than the inhale, with or without the Ujjayi Pranayama. So be mindful if you're, using the props where your placement is. You want your shoulders to be able to be free. So if they can't be free where you are, your block is up too high. If your low back is like super, super uncomfortable here, it could be one of 2 things. You're either in too deep of an extension, you need to bend your knees, or you've got your props too low into the back and you need to be up a little bit higher. So be mindful of those things. Good. So from here, how carefully you come out is ultimately going to depend on what prop that you used. So if you have a bigger prop, bigger support like I do, nod your chin first if you're going to come up forward. You can always also roll over to the side and come up from here as well. So I would recommend whatever works best for your body. Good. Now I'm going to move these props out of the way here. Maybe all the way down out of the way. Good. And we're going to come into a supine twist, just kind of coming into a little bit of relief from that. So we'll come back onto the back. And we're going to keep this one pretty basic here. So knees in tabletop, maybe wiggle, wiggle side to side if that would feel good to you. Good. Zipping everything together, arms out to the side. And we're going to take those knees over to the right. Maybe keeping left shoulder down as you look to the left. Breathe and expand. And could you come into that parasympathetic pranayama flow here? And when you're ready, head back to center, one leg at a time, back to center. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Good. We'll take that right into the other side. So when you're ready, taking those knees over to the left, trying to keep the right shoulder grounded, maybe looking to the right. Breathe and expand. Control the breath and control the mind. And from here, when you're ready, one leg at a time, coming back into center. And we'll wiggle, wiggle, wiggle here. Okay. Now, those of you that feel like you need to be right here a little bit longer, listen to yourself and do so. I'm going to roll over to my side and come up to a seat. Now we're going to come into a dangle here before we take this into snail. And I'm going to give you a couple options with this dangle. So, and you can just come up to your feet the best way for you. So you've got dangle one, which we do periodically, you know, a little bit of a bend in the knee from here. If you want to take this a little bit wider, take your feet wider, maybe dangling a little bit deeper. And those of you that want some support for the head here, because this is going to be a 2-minute dangle, there are some things you can do with your blocks. So depending on how deep you go, you can be here, you can be here, you can be here. Remember, you can stack blocks on top of each other here, here, or here. Good. So if you're doing the first dangle that I chose or showed you here, a lot of people tend to really like this one. I'm probably going to use this one for wide leg dangle. So find what you need. Good. Come to where you're going to come, legs wide or closer together. Find a little bit of length in the spine, a little bit of a bend in the knees, and we're going to be here for a couple minutes. Let's do this one for 3 minutes. We can handle 3 minutes. Good. Good. And then as you're here, if you no longer need the props, you can start to adjust them or let them go. Breathing is the same. Maybe I don't need that one. Breathing is the same. Inhaling for 4 and gradually working up to longer and longer exhales. And those of you that are joining me in, I guess, wide-legged dragonfly dangle, wide leg forward fold dangle, if it becomes too much and too intense, then just come back to regular dangle. And if that's still too intense, drop down into a child's pose, no worries. Remember the intention, meet yourself where you are. Remember, your body will let you know when it's safe to dangle a little bit deeper. Good. And then from here, that always startles me a little bit, no matter what. Good. And then from here, good. We want to, if you've been in the dangle for the full 3 minutes, we want to carefully come out of there. We don't want to just jerk ourselves right back up. So carefully keep your head down, but bring your feet back in. Bringing the knees down to the floor in the way that's best for you. And we'll take a child's pose here. Now, when you feel okay, like you're not gonna, pass out or pop up, still come out slowly, and we'll carefully come up to a seat. All right. We're gonna come into snail, also known as a plow pose, and I'm gonna go over a few different things here again, different things for different people. So if you know what snail is, you know what plow is, you're on your back, you take your legs up, feet, back behind your head. If you know that that's not for you, your modification is a supported legs up the wall, or, no support, just legs up the wall. So there's a couple things you can do there. You can do it with a bolster, a block, a folded blanket, and all that is you're just gonna come back just like you did when you were doing supported bridge, except your legs are gonna be right up here. And for some people, even if you like plow or snail, this can just be a nice one to do. Okay, so that's your not a modification, but an option if full snail is not your jam. Some of you have no problem getting back there. Some of you need a little help with a lift. And for those, sometimes I like to take a folded blanket. Now, something about the folded blanket. This is to lift your shoulders only, to give the back of your neck space. This is not a neck support. So we're not taking this anything under the head or the neck. So if you're using this one, your shoulders are coming right to the edge of the blanket. Let me use a different color here. Shoulders are coming right to the edge of the blanket. Okay. So they don't go beyond the blanket, they go right to the edge of the blanket. Some people like this, some people don't. This is just an option, especially if you've got neck issues. But I would also say if you've got neck issues, snail is probably not where you want to be. And I'm going to take this bolster behind because sometimes my feet don't touch back there. And I don't want, the feet to do this bouncy bounce thing into space. And we're just going to do this one for a couple minutes, but I'm going to come down here. So see how my shoulders are up against my blanket. So I've got space under my neck. And then when you're ready, good. However you need to get there, I have to do it through momentum. Good. And then just taking your feet back. So now my feet are supported here. Some people also like the option of bending the knees by the ears. That's fine too. Now be mindful of your neck. So if you feel that little bone at the base of your neck uncomfortably popping out here, you're no longer on your shoulders, you're on your neck. So you want to back off until you don't. That's another reason why I like this blanket, doing it here. You can even stack a couple blankets on top of each other as well. It doesn't have to be one blanket. It's because it gives more space to the neck and it's a little bit safer. I also should have said too, not just neck issues, but if you've got uncontrolled blood pressure, eye pressure issues, I don't recommend coming into full snail. I recommend going back to legs up the wall variation. And then see If you can bring that breath back in, longer exhales. And then from here, when you're ready, good. Carefully come out of here in the way that's best for your body. Good. And then if you used any props or something like that, I'm just going to roll over to my side. I'm going to remove this blanket and come back down. All right. So we've gotten to the big pose. We're going to prepare for Shavasana here. So from here, just take a figure 4, and I'm just going to start by taking the left ankle over the right knee. Good. I'm just going to bring this in here. I'm just going to rock side to side. So just getting a little bit into the hip. Good. And then from here, we'll come down and do the feet. So feet are going to be about mat width apart here. Good. We're going to let the knees fall towards the right. When you do that, that left hip is going to come up. And as long as everything on the left side, the low back, the hip, the knee, all feel okay, you can stay or move on. If it doesn't feel okay, come back to just a gentle windshield wiper. Those of you that are moving on with me, pick up that right ankle, take it on top of the left thigh. You want it to be on the thigh, not the knee joint. And then you can come into a little bit of a deeper stretch and twist here. So long as everything in the low back, the hip, and that knee on that left side still feel okay. Sometimes if you press the inside of the left foot into the mat, that ball of the foot, the inner arch, the heel, that can take some pressure out and make it a little bit more comfortable, but be mindful. Come back to the breath. And release and come back center, and we'll wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Good. Now, from here, we're going to take that all to the other side. Right ankle is going to come on top of the left knee for figure 4. You can stay here. You can bring it in. Find yours. Good. And when you're ready, we'll release. Good. Taking the feet as wide as the mat. We're going to let the knees fall towards the left this time. So as long as everything feels okay on that right side, the low back, the hip, the knee, you can stay or move on. If not, come back to just the windshield wipers. And those of you moving on with me, take that left foot and ankle right on top of the right thigh, maybe pressing the inner part of the right foot into the mat. And then as long as everything stays okay, you can stay right here. Breathe. Meet yourself where you are. And being mindful that individuality makes you unique. And we are all unique every day because our body's needs change every day. So celebrate your uniqueness, celebrate you, and meet yourself where you are. And when you're ready, we'll release from there, coming back to center, wiggle, 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 side to side. And we're going to come to our Shavasana from here. So bringing in any props that you would like for your Shavasana. I'm going to use this blanket here as a little neck pillow, and I'm going to reach behind and grab my bolster under here. So remember too, you can also be on your side, you can be on your back. And once you've decided where you're going to go, see if you can make yourself about 10% more comfortable. And I'll leave you here for a few moments. Meeting yourself where you are, controlling that breath. Taking some deep breaths here. Choose stillness or gently take head and neck from side to side. Choose stillness or invite movement of fingers and toes. Choose stillness or invite knees into the chest, choosing to keep the upper body lowered or maybe lifting it up into a full body hug. And choosing stillness or moving any props out of the way that you may have used during your Shavasana time. Taking legs long in front of you, arms long behind you, and reach and lengthen from the edge of the fingertips, the edge of the toes. Full body stretch, point and flex through the feet, bend and stretch through the hands, twirling wrists and ankles in one direction, and then in the other. And then from here, when you're ready, bending in both knees, and you choose rolling over to your right or left side, the side that works best for you in this moment. And we're going to carefully come up here, and we're going to do one more little pranayama breathwork exercise. So carefully come up there, be where you're comfortable. We're going to come into alternate nostril breathing. So I'm going to take my right hand, good, and I'm just going to kind of take my middle and ring finger down. So I've got kind of like a little hang 10 going here. So I'm going to, and some people like the pointer finger in there as well, doesn't really matter. So we're going to close off one nostril with the thumb and then the other nostril with the other finger or fingers, okay? So just kind of be where you need to be here. And then when you're ready, just take a big exhale, inhale, close the left nostril, exhale right, inhale right, close right, open left, exhale, inhale, close left, open right, exhale, inhale, close right, open left, exhale, inhale, close left, open right, exhale, inhale, close right, open left, exhale, and release and inhale. So that's a good one to do anytime you need a little bit of grounding or balancing. Fingertips to the side, palms turning up. Inhale, reach and lengthen, touching palms together. Exhale, hands and hearts together. Coming back to that intention. Good, meeting yourself where you are. One more time. And we'll take thumbs to the forehead for good and true thoughts. To our lips for good and kind words. And to our hearts for open and loving hearts, knowing no effort on this mat is ever wasted, no gain is ever reversed. May you be safe, may you stay well, may you have a wonderful day, evening, week ahead. Namaste.